Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of KOIN Conversations. I'm Emily Burris, morning anchor, and big fan of reality TV. So I am very excited to be sitting down for a conversation with today's guest. We've got a hometown favorite to cheer for on season 49 of Survivor. Please welcome Kimberly Annie Davis. Hey, how's it going?
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited to talk about Survivor, all things Survivor with you, because you are going to be on the all new season 49. Has it all settled in yet? Does it feel real? Has it hit you that you are going to be on this season of Survivor?
I mean, it kind of comes in waves, right? So sometimes it'll feel very surreal, and then all of a sudden it'll kind of hit you, and you're like, whoa, this is actually happening. And then it goes back to being sort of life as usual, and then it hits you again. So it sort of comes ebbs and flows throughout this whole thing, but it's been a crazy adventure. It's so exciting and so cool.
I bet. I just think it's one of these shows that is just I mean, it's in like the Mount Rushmore of reality TV, right? It's been around for 49 seasons. You don't get to do that unless you're doing something right. And it never gets old. Every season, every time, the drama, the gameplay, it just keeps getting better and better. So I'm really excited to dig into what we can expect from you this season. First, I thought I would ask you about your nickname. We got introduced to you as Kimberly Annie Davis. You're in Texas now. Portland's your hometown. Do you go by Annie?
I do. So there was sort of this transition because Kimberly's my first name, but back when I was a little kid, my it's Kimberly Ann. And so my grandpa in Texas used to call me Burley Ann. And so I thought it was the cutest thing ever. And so when I started the band, I was like, Trashy Annie, that's going to be the name of this thing, and there's a whole story we can talk about with that. But it just started to slowly transition into being Annie, and so now everybody just calls me Annie. So,
Okay,
or my
okay.
stepkids call me Boss, which is even better.
Nice.
So I
Very
get
nice.
Kimberly, Annie, or Boss.
And you said you've got some friends here in Portland that would know you as Kim, right? Tell us about your Portland
Oh
connection.
yeah. Yeah, so I was born in San Antonio, but we moved up to Oregon and kind of Oregon, Washington when I was two. And so my parents split when I was five or six. So I would spend my summers in Texas, but I grew up in the Portland area. I went to Hudson's Bay High School over in Vancouver. And so I've been, spending time with all of my friends and family up there for years and years and years. I moved to Texas in 2011. And so I've been down here for 12 or 13 years, however long that is. But yeah,
Awesome.
I get up there all the time. I love Portland.
And so where in Texas exactly?
So I currently live in Gonzales, which is about an hour south of Austin,
Okay.
and we are in all things country life. Internet's down today, so I'm currently at the Seguin Public
Oh my
Library
gosh.
talking to you.
Hey,
Yes,
I
living in the
appreciate
country
you
is great.
battling through tech issues. Full disclosure to our viewers, we had some tech issues getting this started here today. It comes with the business, but hey, we're making it work. I'm glad we get to sit and talk with you. I love that you're in the Austin area too, because I feel like Portland and Austin are kindred spirits. You know, we like to fight about who really keeps it weird. Do you see the similarities there?
Oh, for sure. Austin is sunny Portland, and that's why I'm here because I just got tired of the rain, and so I packed my car and came down here in 2011 without any kind of a plan or any kind of a job or anything. I was like, oh, sunshine and 85 in October. I'm sold. So here I am.
Yeah, seriously. And so you've made a life for yourself here in Texas. What would you say daily life has been like, and how has it prepared you for Survivor?
Oh man, there's so much. So when I left Portland and moved to Austin, I ended up starting a company called Run Lab. So we do running biomechanics analysis and physical therapy for runners and all of that sort of stuff. And then I actually got back into music. So I was a trumpet player through college. I put myself through college on trumpet scholarship, which was super cool, little backstory. But I gave up music for, I don't know, 20, 25 years, whatever it was, and then picked up a guitar during COVID and started playing again. had this sort of fear of singing in front of people my entire life. And so I thought, I want to do this one time. I want to maybe write a song and go to an open mic and do this once. And so that was sort of what led me back into the music world. And it was a big slippery slope into doing the thing that I loved so much as a kid and started writing music for the first time. And so got into all that. So these last, I don't know, 10, 15 years have had all kinds of different facets that I feel like sort of prepared me for all this. I mean, I had to make super hard decisions during COVID with my company. I had 30 people and I had to lay 28 of them off when COVID hit the United States. And, getting out into the world and doing something for the first time in your mid 40s with music, that's a scary thing. Now I have a rock band that's touring all over the country, living in a van together for, more of the time than we're at home. And so there's a lot of things that I think prepared me for going out into this crazy adventure that was Survivor, just from all these different facets of my life I've been lucky enough to experience over the last decade or two.
That's just incredible. Well, I do want to talk about your band, Trashy Annie. I feel like a lot of people probably have like the reverse version of events where it's like, yeah, I had a garage band in high school or college and now I'm in the real world. It's like you've lived so many chapters of life and then you wanted to go full headfirst into the music scene. So tell me a little bit more about that.
It's been a really crazy, exciting adventure. So, like I was saying, I picked up guitar, actually started playing drums during COVID. It was right before COVID. It was what I always wanted to play as a kid. So, for Christmas and I think 2019, I bought myself a drum kit and started learning how to play. And I'm like, that's it. I'm going to be a rock drummer. And then COVID hit. And what I learned was one, nobody was getting together because it was COVID. So people weren't getting together to play music. But two, nobody, and I mean nobody wants to play with a brand new drummer. So I couldn't find anybody to play with me. So I was like, I'm just sitting in my studio playing by myself. And I thought, maybe I should pick up guitar and try to write a song. And then, like I said, I thought, well, maybe now's the time to try to conquer this horrifying fear of singing in front of people and just do it once and check the box. And so I ended up falling in love with it, started writing, kind of was waiting for COVID to lift and put a band together. And while I was doing that, I was learning how to do all of the other things that it takes to be a musician. So you have to learn how to make a YouTube video, which I'd never done before. How do you put your music on Spotify? How do you produce your songs? How do you mix them? There's just a lot that goes into it besides just learning to write a song.
For sure.
So, I mean, I couldn't even play guitar standing up back then. I didn't know what I was doing at all. So there was a lot to learn and it was a big scary thing. Well, around the end of COVID, I decided I was going to put a song out into the world and just feel like I had done this and I had created something cool. So I was really proud of it and I made a YouTube video to go with it. It was all one chord because that's all I could play at the time. But I was really proud of it. I think it came out really good. The song's called Runnin'. And anyway, so I put the song out under my name, under Annie Davis, and I made a video to go with it. And the very first comment I got on social media was about my clothes being too young for me. And so it was awful at first because, I'm 44 at the time. And I'm thinking I'm really proud of myself with this big accomplishment of putting something out into the world. And, the horrors of social media come rearing in. And so anyway, I decided I was kind of heartbroken at first. And I thought, yeah, what am I doing? What am I doing in my 40s trying to start a rock band? This is stupid. And then thought, wait a minute. No, these people are stupid. This is ridiculous. Why are you going to tell me what to wear? What I shouldn't care no matter my age or size or anything else. Right.
Yeah.
And so I ended up naming the band Trashy Annie and just leaning into it all and saying we should just be able to be who we are, and live our best lives no matter what anybody has to say about it. So
Oh
that's where
my
the band
gosh.
name came from.
I love that. Well, I do, it's like I do have to wonder how many of those comments come with the territory of being a woman. I talk about it with my co anchor all the time. Myself and all my female colleagues can probably relay some stories of some,
Yeah.
less than kind emails and comments that we've gotten about our appearance. None of my male colleagues can relate. Other than one time that my co anchor's loafers without socks really, really got under the skin of one of our viewers, but I like that you chose to kind of lean into that, and I'm curious, what's it like being a woman in a live music scene? Do you ever feel like a fish out of water? Is there ever that friction there?
Constantly. But I've been feeling like a fish out of water my entire life. So I'm sort of used to that anyway. But women in rock and roll is unfortunately an underrepresented population.
Mm-hmm.
You look at people like Joan Jett and people that were sort of blazing a path 30 or 40 years ago, for women like me to be able to come in and do it, this long later, just looking up to these women and saying, man, you're amazing. But it's unfortunately, there's not enough of us out there. And so for me, that's one thing and that's important about this journey is hopefully inspiring some little girls to go out there and buy themselves electric guitars and start rocking. And I get kids at shows, these little girls that come up in their little princess outfits, and I'm just singing all these dirty songs that they don't really understand the lyrics, but they love the music and they get a little tiara and I want to be a rock and roller like you. And I just think it's the cutest, sweetest, most wonderful thing. So
Yeah,
I hope that that's something I can leave on the world when I go is some kind of inspiration for little girls who are, growing up in this crazy time with internet and judgment all around us, and hopefully inspire them to, grow a thick skin and get out there and do what you want to do.
for sure.
And I will say too, it's kind of played in with the Survivor stuff too, because as soon as they announce the cast, you get all the good and the bad with that. You get people that are like, yeah, this crazy 50-year-old from a rock band. And then the other side of the coin is what a freak. What 50-year-old has purple hair, what a whack job. Like you get all this too. And my response to all that is go CBS. You guys are casting people who are interesting and different and blazing your own paths in the world and inspiring people. And I am so proud to be a part of this thing because I think CBS has done such a great job with casting interesting people and
Yeah.
people from all walks of life. So I just think it's a really cool thing to be a part of all of this.
Well, I think that's a testament too to the longevity of the show. You have to have a good cast of castaways. You have to have all of these people ready to come out and be the sole survivor, but who are also really entertaining to watch. And so to do that time and time again, and sometimes those first impressions can be used to your advantage. Do you feel like you're someone who, I don't want to say like what you see is not what you get because I feel like you are very authentic. What you see is what you get. But do you think there's more to you than your first impressions on the island? Are we going to see more this season than what we might think from just seeing the promo?
I think that's true of every single person on this show. And I think that's what's great about Survivor. I think every one of us that's on that island this season and every other season, there's more to us than from the cast reveal. There's more to us than what you think you might be able to gather from just looking at us or seeing our bio or seeing a 30-second clip. And to me, that's what's so compelling about this show is even me with my castmates, I didn't really know, we all have these things that we come to the table with, our past experiences that are going to lead us to think something about someone based on how they look. And so I think that's one of the greatest things about this show in general is that even us as castaways, we can't really judge a book by its cover with our other castmates, and fans that are watching continue to learn more and more about us as the show develops and as we have all these out of game interviews and people get to learn a lot about us that they probably wouldn't have thought. It's crazy to me that people are so judgy about someone's looks, especially on a show like this when, like I said, CBS knows what they're doing and they pick people with a lot of levels and layers to them. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think you just got to watch the show and see how everybody unfolds because it's such a cool character study with all of this. So
Absolutely.
yes, that's the
Yeah.
super long wordy answer to say yes, you're going to get more I think from me than you think you're going to from a personality perspective. That's true of every single person on this show and
I
it's
love it.
really cool.
I'm
Yeah, me
excited.
too.
I'm excited to see this season how it all unfolds. I'm curious, how big of a Survivor fan were you prior to getting the call about season 49? Did you have all the other seasons, watched in the back of your mind, or did you immediately dive into some research?
Well, so I have watched Survivor since the beginning. I remember the Richard Hatch days,
Oh
getting
yeah.
naked on the beach and thinking, yeah, guy, you do you. So I just feel like I've always loved the show and I've watched every season, probably not in sequential order. There are
Hmm.
some people who are huge super fans and they can tell you every person, every personality, every winner, every loser, all the things. That's not me. And I think that that was part of the adventure of it all is I didn't know everything that everybody, might know going into this show. And that's so much of, like I say, so much of the adventure of it. So yeah, I've been watching it since the beginning. It's a big one for my family. My husband and my stepson and I sit around and watch either Survivor, Amazing Race, or Silicon Valley. Those are the three shows that I will make time for because I don't have time to watch TV, but I will make time for those three. And
Yeah.
so it's always been on the list of just compelling television for me for sure.
That's great. Okay, so you mentioned Richard, but I was curious if there is anyone from the Survivor family that you kind of had in your mind that you wanted to emulate, or people who you said like, yeah, I want to try and maybe play the game like that.
You know, it's hard to not compare yourself to other people, but I've had this same question so frequently in music too. Like who are your influences? Who do you want to emulate? Who do you want
Sure.
to sound like? And at the end of the day, I don't want to play like anybody else. I don't want to sing like anybody else. I don't want to write like anybody else. I'm Annie and I do things my way for better or worse, you know? And I think we'll see how that all ends up playing out. But I think there are cast members from previous seasons that I respect from a positivity perspective. You know, one that sticks out to me, I always loved Kenzie because she was just really positive and she helped her fellow castmates when they were down, even though they're competing against each other. And I think that's such a cool thing. And I want to be that way in life. So I think those kinds of cast members stick out to me as people that I respect the way they played.
Okay, so that kind of leads into my next question, which was I wanted to ask, do you want to be remembered as someone who, played the game with integrity and was more about the relationships and the people versus any final outcomes, or are you there to play the game?
I don't know if I can speak to that necessarily because that's kind of part of the mystery of it all when
That's
you start to
true.
see everybody's characters
Uh-huh.
unfold and like, is this person, did they play the way that they are in real life or did they come in with kind of their persona they wanted to have? Like Trashy
Uh-huh.
Annie, I have who I am as a person and then I've got sort of my stage persona and while they're interlaced and interconnected, there's some stuff that's separate about them. And so I think that's all for you to just experience as you watch the show.
Yeah.
um, but I will say that, just as a person in all of life, whether it's related to Survivor or the band or my business or anything else, I do want to be authentic to myself, and I think that that is a thread that I carry with me in everything that I do in life. So I don't think Survivor's any different there.
I well said. I think that's great, and that gives us a lot to get excited about as we get ready for season 49. Okay, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, Annie, I've got a fun little game. Since we can't talk Survivor spoilers, I thought we would play a little game of Survivor Would You Rather.
Oh
So that,
boy.
oh yeah,
Okay.
that's coming up on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, welcome back to KOIN Conversations. I'm Emily Burris here with Annie Davis. You are going to watch her on season 49 of Survivor. Cannot wait. I know that, we got to be careful. We can't give away any spoilers. Everyone is excited for this new season. But, Annie, I thought we'd play a little game of Survivor Would You Rather, because this game is it's the perfect office water cooler conversation. Everybody thinks they know what they would do when they're on the island, but I'm curious how you would feel about a couple of these scenarios. So, would you rather get to sleep on a bamboo platform with no blanket or sleep on the ground with a blanket but with all of the bugs?
Oh, I'll take blanket and bugs all day long. I get
You'll take a
so
blanket and
cold
bugs?
so easy. Oh my God, I live in the country. I'm so used to bugs. I remember walking into the bathroom in the middle of the night, one of the first nights I stayed at this river house, and there was a spider, one of those wolf spiders, like yay big, in the sink. And I thought, I can't live here. I have to leave. So it's been 5 or 6 years at this point, and now
Mhm.
I'm just used to the bugs. So I would rather be warm with bugs.
Yeah, yeah. Snug as a bug in a rug, bugs included. Yeah, that's your
Right.
game. I don't know. I think I would get to a point where if I were tired and hungry and sleep deprived enough, the bugs would just become my friends. But I'm leaning bamboo
Right.
platform at least to start the challenge. Okay, here's my next one. Would you rather spend every night sleeping in the rain or every day out in the sun, no shade?
10,000% sun. I love the heat. I go hiking in Phoenix when it's 115 during the middle of the day because that's when nobody else goes and I can just be by myself in the sun. I love it. So yes, sun. 1000% sun.
I should have known the person who wanted to move to sunny Portland was
Exactly.
was gonna say sun on that one. Okay.
Sure.
How about this one? Would you rather get voted out playing an honest game or flip on an alliance to stay alive?
Ooh, can't tell you.
Okay. Okay. We'll see. See, I always say I'm like
Both of
I don't think I could flip just because my poker face. The second someone asks me like, "What are you thinking here?"
yeah,
I give too much away.
you should apply.
Yeah, yeah.
You,
We'll
do you
see.
have what it takes? I feel like this
Do
is
I
how
have one?
Jeff got me.
I
This
know.
is how Jeff got me. So we're watching the show. I don't even remember what season it was. And during the commercial breaks, Jeff gets up there, and he does this little Jeff Probst thing. He's like, "Hey, do you have what it takes? You should get off the couch and apply today." And I thought, I do. I have what it takes. I should get off the couch. And I got up, went, made myself a little video, and here we are.
Man, yeah. Say Jeff he could probably talk just about anybody
He's so convincing.
into doing it, and he is that voice that keeps you going. Okay, how about
Yeah.
this? Would you rather be the obvious leader of a pack, or do you prefer to stay a sneaky underdog? Is that also giving
Oh
away too much
man.
strategy?
You know what? Probably can't tell you
Okay.
because of that piece, but I will
Hmm.
tell you just in life, like I was telling you before, one of my nicknames is Boss. And I have a necklace that my kids got me that just says Boss on it. And I usually wear that all the time. And that was one of the things I said on my interview, before I got onto the show was I'm going to have to leave this at home because I don't
Hmm.
want to be portrayed in this way, because I am a bossy human being in life, and it's very hard sometimes to shut that down. So you'll
Yeah.
see how I did when you watch the show.
Right. That would be quite the first impression statement. Just have boss on the necklace.
It's
How did that nickname come from your kids?
they're both my stepkids, and I met them when they were 6 and 8, and so now they are almost 21 and just turned 18, which is crazy. I've watched these little nuggets turn into just grown human beings. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But anyway, when we were kind of early on, we were trying to decide what they should call me because you don't call someone stepmom. That's weird and sounds like a terrible Disney character that's going to murder you. We're trying to figure out what do they call me. And somewhere along the way, they just started calling me boss, and I thought this was the greatest thing. And so now that's kind of my nickname. Like my husband calls me boss. A lot of my
Boss.
bandmates call me boss. It's very cute. I
I
love it.
like it. It's a good
Yeah,
nickname. It's a fun
yeah,
one.
it's cute. I like it.
Okay, let's see. I got another one for you. I got two more. Two more would you rathers. Do you
Okay.
prefer a long physical endurance kind of challenge, or do you prefer something that is like quick, smart puzzle mental game?
I always choose physical. So
Mm,
my background, I started the company Run Lab that I told you about earlier
mm-hmm.
because I got into running for the first time in my 20s, got into triathlon for the first time, started doing ultimately Ironmans and distance races, like 12 to 72-hour adventure races where you're out in the woods by yourself for 3 or 4 days at map and compass, mountain biking, the whole thing. So I've done a lot of endurance stuff. I've climbed a lot of the Cascade, the mountains
Yeah,
around. Anyway, so yeah, I've climbed a bunch of mountains, I've climbed Rainier and all the stuff from the Pacific Northwest. And so I'm a big physical challenges person in life, and I always like to test myself in that way. So
I
I would
love it.
probably choose that. I like the mental stuff too, but the physical stuff for me is fun to see what I can do and what I
Sure.
can't.
Well, and a lot of physical challenges are also very mental, but different kind of mental
For
flex.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay,
For
my
sure.
last would you rather? Would you rather win a family and friends visit or a fast food smorgasbord?
Oh man, family and friends. Like,
Oh,
the food just comes and goes so quickly, but the love from people that are your people, like that stays with you forever. It really does,
I
you
feel like
know.
that's such a survivor themed compliment to look at the people you love and say I love you more than a
A
DoorDash takeout
hamburger.
order when I'm on a deserted island. Yeah.
It's gonna be my Christmas card. I love you more than a hamburger.
That's so great. Well,
It's true
Annie,
though.
I got to let you go, but before we do, any message for the Portland viewers, for the folks who are going to be cheering you on this season?
And I can't wait to see everybody. I haven't been up since before we filmed and everything. It's going to be a really good time. We're actually going to be there playing. My band's going to be there playing October 22nd. We're in Olympia, but I think the 23rd we're in Portland at the Twilight Cafe is I think where we're playing. So I hope everybody comes out and says hi because it would be a lot of fun to see all the friends and family and hopefully some new faces that I haven't met yet.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, let me know
Yeah,
when you're in town. We'll have to get you over here in
I
the
sure
studio
will.
as well and
I
do
would
this in
love it.
person. We very much appreciate you fighting through some tech troubles and getting on Zoom with us today, though. Thank you so much. This has been a lot of
Thank
fun.
you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And hey, you can check out Annie in season 49 of Survivor on CBS and also streaming on Paramount Plus. For much more and more Coin Conversations, you can find us anytime on coin.com. Have a good one, everybody.